This is our first video in section 5.3. I'm working on your Check Your Understanding on page 326. A computer company makes desktop and laptop computers at factories in 3 states, California, Texas, and New York. The California factory produces 40% of the company's computers. The Texas factory makes 25% of the remaining 35% are manufactured in New York. Of the computers made in California, 75% are laptops. Of those made in Texas and New York, 70% and 50% respectively are laptops. All computers are first shipped to a distribution center in Missouri before being sent out to stores. Suppose we select a computer at random from the distribution center. In the first problem, it asks us to construct a tree diagram to represent the situation. Although you're often going to be asked to construct different things. In one of the earlier videos, we constructed a two-way table. In this one, we're being asked to construct a tree diagram. Sometimes we'll be asked to construct a Venn diagram. You do need to know how to do the different constructions, one, because they could ask you for different things, but more importantly, you should use them as a tool to really help you to visualize and break up the data. So for this one, a tree diagram is really going to help us be able to look at what's happening, since we have these two different components, the different states as well as whether it's just a computer or if it's a laptop. So we're going to first look at the fact that we have our computers to begin with. Then we're going to take those computers and we're going to split them based on whether it's a California computer, if it's a Texas computer, or if it's a New York computer. Now if I look back up at the information, it says that the California factory produces 40%, so I'm going to put 0.40 here. The Texas factory makes 25%, so 0.25 goes there. And then it says the remaining 35% are manufactured in New York, so 0.35 goes there. Then after each state, we're looking at whether it was a laptop or a desktop computer. I'm going to do that for each of the states. And we're going to put in their probabilities. So of the computers made in California, 75% are laptops, which means the rest of them would have to be desktops. Of those made in Texas and New York, 70%, so Texas, 70% are laptops, which means the rest of them are desktops. And in New York, 50% are laptops, which means the rest of them are desktops. So that would give us our tree diagram to break up the situation. Now we're going to use that tree diagram to help us in answering the questions. So find the probability that the computer is a laptop. To find the probability that the computer is a laptop, we're going to consider the different places a laptop could come from. The laptop can come from California, in which case we'd have a laptop, 75% from California, which means 40. So we would do 0.4 times 0.75. So first let me put out, we're looking at the probability of it being a laptop. And that's going to be 0.40 times 0.75. Or, so I'm going to add, I can have a laptop from Texas, which means I have 0.25 times 0.70, or I could have the laptop come from New York, so 0.35 times 0.5, and this becomes 0.3 plus 0.175 plus 0.175, just putting that into my calculator, and from there I get that the probability is 0.65, so a 65% chance of having a laptop. And yes, you do want to show work. I know you've been told that so long in math, but in this case, it's very easy to make small mistakes, and as long as you have your work there, you'll be getting full credit, even if you make a small little bonehead mistake. So given that a laptop is selected, was a probability that it was made in California. So probability that it is made in California, given that you have a laptop. Notice I just use a notation for a conditional. We're given the conditional, we're given the condition that we have a laptop. What's the probability that's made in California? So we're going to use the formula that goes with the conditional, and that is the probability that it is made in California and a laptop divided by the probability that it is a laptop. So the probability that it's made in California and a laptop is what we did up here. California and a laptop, 0.4 times 0.75. Remember, 0.4 times 0.75 gave us 0.3. So we're going to have 0.3 divided by the probability of a laptop is what we calculated in number 2, and that was 0.65. And putting that into a calculator, we get 0.462. So about a 46% chance of getting a laptop, or getting, given that it's a laptop, that it was made in California.